I had a friend from home, Neve, she was with me that night. She made that call at the right time. If she hadn't have done that, you know, she could have woken up next to me dead, basically. It had been like a normal day. I'd been hanging out with my friends and we'd gone out for dinner and then just come back. Like, had a fairly early night actually, and I felt completely fine in the evening. And then at some point in the early hours, I woke up and I started vomiting. I thought it was a bit odd because I hadn't had anything to drink in our evening together. I didn't have a rash or any of those other kind of key things people think about with meningitis. After a couple of hours, I was still vomiting and we were starting to think, okay, something's not quite right here. And she called 111 for me. They sent an ambulance and then I went into hospital from there. The next thing I remember was like at some point waking up from a coma. I then remember looking like down at my body and seeing that my hands had turned black, my feet had turned black, and there were these black patches all over my skin. And I didn't know like what that was or why that had happened. And that's when they told me it was meningococcal septicaemia. All I knew it was kind of, they looked bad. They didn't work, I couldn't move them, I couldn't feel. It seemed obvious to me that they weren't gonna survive. And yeah, that's eventually what they told me, that they were gonna have to amputate parts of my hands and possibly my feet at that point in time. For me, like having maybe the background in like medicine and healthcare, like I can be quite matter of fact about it, but I know for my family that was like the hardest time ever. So it was about a year after it all happened that I even heard about transplant. So yeah, it was a long process between then and eventually like meeting the team and going through all the testing and getting onto the list. It's very cool that they can do this sort of thing. And my function is really quite good with it. I'm really happy with how it's gone. I feel very grateful that I'm here and that I can like live my life still. I know that not everyone's so lucky, so I'm really grateful that I have that. So I did get a rash eventually. That's what made them look into meningitis as a cause of my sepsis, but it wasn't until I was already in a coma. So I would just say don't wait until a rash comes along. Any of the symptoms are worth getting checked as soon as possible.